Hello guys, this is Orange Coach again and welcome to another video again guys. Again, like, subscribe guys and leave a comment on the video. And yes guys, I'm back again with another one. I hope you guys have had an amazing day. And yeah guys, we're gonna come again and talk about the team we love the most. I'm a crazy full of Kaizer Chiefs. And yeah guys, I'm gonna give my viewpoints on as a continuation from my previous video. I'm gonna talk about a bit of the preview for the next game. They're playing against Kruger United again tomorrow for the first game of the league. And I'm also going to talk about some of the news that has developed ever since during the week with regards to the new transfer that Kaizer Chiefs was able to. Yes, it might not have been confirmed, but from whatever is happening around, we have plenty to know that to suggest that Kaizer Chiefs have completed the deal for Langelihle Phili. I'm very happy about the deal. I'll explain why. But first and foremost, guys, I'm just going to talk about the team as they are structurally, how will they look like when they're moving to the game, a bit of a preview for their game against Kruger United, and also against how, taking a bit of the comments that I got from Fernando de Cruz, and also before the game against on the Betway league launch during the weekend, also on the game that I saw just after the game against Scotland, about the team and what he's looking for. So first and foremost, guys, we're going to be talking about the game against Kruger United. And from what I could see, it's going to be a difficult game because Kaizer Chiefs are playing first away. First, we don't really know much about Kruger United, but from what I could see and what I could come up with, guys, there's a very good team. They won the league in the Motsepe Foundation with a lot of goals, scored a lot of goals. They were the best team in the second division. They score a lot of good goals, play very good football. They score a lot of their goals in very different manners. They can technically play. They can play with a lot of crosses. One other thing that you'll always find in teams coming from the bottom, they'll always try to use their counter attacks and play on the break as much as they can. But very good team. Don't get a lot of players from getting by a lot of players. So a lot of the players that they're coming with are coming from the second division. So you would expect Kaizer Chiefs to win that game and to be favorites into the game. And then when it goes to Kaizer Chiefs, the only thing I can say is the fact that Kaizer Chiefs are generally going to play a similar team to what they played against Scotland, with a slight alteration of playing with Bradley Cross. I don't think Bradley Cross has recovered from his injury. So I think, and also Paseka Maka, we also know about him leaving the Spanish preseason camp because of a fractured hand. So it looks like Kaizer Chiefs are going to probably be playing Frostley again. The only alteration probably might be in the back line, because they'll probably play Miguel and probably Muloisani or Suita Kinika because of the expected, given Msimango, from all indication, it looks like he's also going to Stellenbosch as part of the deal for Langelihle Phili. So I think it's either going to be Suita Kinika or Suita Kinika playing with Miguel. So that's what it looks like in terms of the back four. Reshundotlu is still not ready, guys. It's going to take a bit of time for him, as Fernando de Cruz explained. So that's probably going to be the three center backs that are going to play most of the time. And then right back, obviously, it's going to be Monyane. Midfield, I don't think it's going to change. It's going to be Adolf Mtasingwa with my boy as the two sitters there, as the two central midfielders. They're probably going to play Ethan Chislett as a number 10. They're going to play Mfundo as a right wing. They're going to play Velepa as a left wing. And they're probably going to be playing Flavio Silva as a striker. They might maybe switch it with Ikadwara, but from all the indication, it looks like it's going to be Flavio because he's played most of the preseason games. So I think from that, we can take the fact that the team is going to look the same. And structurally wise, Kaizer Chiefs are probably going to play in a similar way to what they did against Scotland. They'll keep the ball, but there isn't a lot in terms of attacking. There isn't going to be a lot of attacking things that you're going to see from them that's different to what they did against Scotland. And I will break it down why, because defensive wise, guys, we understand that Kaizer Chiefs was the second best defense in the league last season. They created the second least number of goals in the league last season. So They don't really leak a lot of goals. They are structurally quite good. Even though last season there were a lot of games where Brendan Peterson was needed because of one of the weaknesses, which is Kaizer Chiefs. This defensive structure, they don't really press. They are generally a team that likes to bend in a lower to mid block. They make sure that they compact the field. They make sure that their lines are very tight with each other. Teams don't generally play through them because they are a very combative team, especially when teams get beyond the middle field or get beyond the half, get into the half where Kaizer Chiefs will be probably defending. They generally like to keep the ball, and Kaizer Chiefs are very combative because they have combative midfielders and a combative team that likes to make sure that as soon as teams get beyond their half, Kaizer Chiefs make sure they are structurally strong. So one of the ways that generally Kaizer Chiefs get weaknesses is teams generally is when they start to lose the ball when they are building up, because they are not really as refined as, like, let's say, Orlando Pirates or Sundowns in terms of their building up play. They lose the ball. That's when teams can be able to get the play off them, and then they attack their defense straight. And the other way is when Kaizer Chiefs are sort of playing in a mid block. Teams like to move them or like to play in the half spaces. They like to play long balls in behind, especially behind the full back areas and the center backs. They like to generally turn their center backs because more of the Kaizer Chiefs center backs are not really quick in terms of their pace. So teams will always like to get in behind them. So that's one of the areas that I think Kruger United will look to do. Offensive wise, in terms of the offensive ability, that's where I just wanted to come into my own and speak about it, because Fernando de Cruz was speaking about how Chiefs needed to improve in terms of their offensive ability, their passing, their movement, their passing patterns, their conversion, and most importantly, I like to use this word conviction in the final third, because that's one area that they struggle with a lot. Kaizer Chiefs were the 4th highest scorers in the league last season. They were 20, but the scary thing that you need to understand is Kaizer Chiefs were 25 goals below Orlando Pirates and 24 below Sundowns. So those teams scored 25 more goals than Kaizer Chiefs, and it really shows you that is one area that they need to improve very, very drastically. I think in the last season, Flavius was the one who scored a lot of goals. He scored about 9 goals. He was one of the highest scorers in the team. Him and Claude Lepo probably were the highest scorers in the team. But generally, their attacking play, Kaizer Chiefs, it's not really refined, and that's one area that I really liked it, because Fernando de Cruz spoke about the team needing to improve in terms of how they play, how they create opportunities, the quality of opportunities. It's not about creating chances, it's the quality of chances that creates, that is something that you need to do. And I just feel like Kaizer Chiefs don't create enough quality chances. They create a lot of opportunities through either the teams, either on transitions, either on shooting from long ranges, either by crossing, but they don't really create a lot of opportunities through good passing, through good movement, just like Fernando de Cruz spoke about. So that's one area that Kaizer Chiefs need to really improve if they want to add their number of goals. And most importantly, the other thing is their attacking players have to convert. They have to be better in terms of their conversion. I don't think there's going to be a drastic leap up in terms of what they are doing now to what they are going to look like compared to Orlando Pirates and Sundowns, because it takes a lot of work. You need to have a framework. You have to have a good offensive structure, a way of playing that you can see that, okay, this is what they're trying to do. And I think the coach spoke about, it's going to take a bit of time. That's why he tried to measure the expectations of the fans, because he understands that it's going to take a lot of time to improve as an attacking unit, because as much as it's better, to be able to set up a team defensively, guys, it's much easier than being able to improve the attacking ability of a team. You need to have quality players. You need to have a good philosophy and a good identity. You need to have good schemes that you're going to play around. When I say schemes, and I mean good attacking schemes and phase play, I just mean that a team that knows what they have to do from the defense to the middle to the attack. You need to have refined passing movements. You need to have refined passing patterns. You need to have good movement. You need to have good passing. You need to be able to play in triangles. You need to be able to play in good. You need to overload certain attacking zones. You need to refine your attack. You need to be able to things that can make the team very unpredictable in what they are trying to do. And that's why I think the coach was speaking about being able to get a different profile of players, because the profile of the players that Kaizer Chiefs have now are very similar. You have players that like to play with a lot of speed and pace, but not a lot of players that can be able to play with control. Mfundo Villa guys likes to play with a lot of speed. They want to run with the ball, they want to dribble, but you also need to be able to play with a lot of control and a lot of you need to be measured. Know when to attack, know when to be able to cross, know when to be able to play 1-2s, know when to be able to play in short spaces, know when to a good team knows when to be able to play in short spaces and knows when to be able to switch the ball out wide. And those offensive habits are things that you build over a long time. And that's why I think it's important that Kaizer Chiefs will make Kaizer Chiefs be able to grow exponentially. And that's why I say that for the game they're going to play against Kruger United, they're probably going to be able to show the same number of pictures that they showed against Scotland. So it's going to take a bit of time for them to be able to grow as a team offensively. But I'm happy to see that the coach understands that the team needs to improve in terms of their optimizations, in terms of their attack and what they are doing. And the second thing that which aids to that is that the quality has to improve. I've already spoken about it in my previous videos when in the 4 signings that the Kaizer Chiefs needs to improve in terms of the offensive signings, and they need to add quality, really good quality players that are some of the best in the country and also some of the best around. That's why I was speaking about being able to go to the South American market if possible, get the best possible players that you can, but the core of the team has to be the best possible players that you can in and around the league. And as I speak in Kaizer Chiefs have looks like they've completed the signing of Langelihle Phili. I'm so happy because he brings something that Kaizer Chiefs need. You need to have good quality. You need to have the best possible talent that you can. As much as I would like for Kaizer Chiefs to have a good style and good style of play, at the epicenter of that needs to have quality. So the team can evolve as a team in terms of the way that they play, but you need to have quality at the core of it. I think in previous seasons, Kaizer Chiefs have looked to build a structure and a formwork and a framework in terms of how they want to play, but they haven't recruited the right type of quality to go and mesh with that. So Chiefs need quality. They need to get quality players. And Langelihle I've watched him in his under-20. I watched him last season. I watched him in the under-20 World Cup. I watched him for Stellenbosch last season. He was their best attacker. And he's very direct. Similar to Velebai, but more refined. He has good body position. He's very quick. He can dribble. The good thing I like about him is equally he can line up his man 1 versus man and skin him. He can easily play inside, can draw a cut inside shoot, can drop his shoulder and beat his man, quick pace, cross the ball. He can play. And the other thing that I like about him, his profile is a profile of player that can develop into a good attacking player, not just a good winger, an attacking player that can easily play on the line as it is to easily play inside the half spaces, can easily come inside, can combine, because that's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm not looking for a player that can just hug the line like what I had a problem with Lilepo and Velebai. You can see that these players are very good at attacking players, but you can see that it was Lilepo likes to hug the line, he likes to stay out wide. But if you want to be a team that creates a lot of opportunities, you need to also be able to play in the good congested zones. You need to be able to have players that can play in a complicated area, quick passing, quick movement. A player that can develop, he can develop into an offensive threat, like it is, a player similar to an Austrian Apollos from Orlando Pirates. You can see that Apollos can play out wide, but can easily come and play in the half spaces, can come inside, combine with these number 10s, he can combine with others middle number fielder. And when you have those types of players that have that type of profile, it improves the team because it gives an opposition team a lot of problems because they can easily stay out wide. It's just that they can come inside, So that's an area that's one thing I like about him. And I feel like he scored about 9 goals last season for Stellenbosch, 8 to 9 goals if I'm not mistaken. But he's a very good player. That's the type of quality that Kaizer Chiefs needs. I think they still have a chance to. Looks like there's a lot of rumors about Thapelo Maseko, another profile that I think Chiefs should be looking at because he can on the right wing is the type of player that I think he could be playing in the right wing. Because for me, guys, I don't think Fundo Vilakazi is a wing. I think his profile is more of a number 10. I think Kaizer Chiefs need to develop him into more of a player that can play in that number 10 position. So I think Kaizer Chiefs need Thapelo Maseko. I also spoke about Lucas Ribeiro, who I'm pleading now. If Kaizer Chiefs were looking at this, they should be looking at Lucas Ribeiro because I think he's a free agent. I think he would do wonders in terms of elevating the quality of the team higher. That's what I'm looking for, guys. I don't necessarily think Chiefs need a striker, another one. I think the strikers that they have so now, if they don't get a striker, if they can get a better structure, higher profile of striker, it would be good. But I think the players strikers that they have now, they can work with them. I'm generally looking at the middle field and the attacking areas, them to improve those areas. And that's what I'm looking for, having very good players that can make Chiefs a better team, especially in possession. Being able to have players that can be able to help you control the game, players that can give opposition teams a lot of problems. So I'm very happy with the Langelihle Phili deal. I think there's a lot more that needs to happen in terms of the players that need to be signed. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about in terms of putting together the videos about Langelihle Phili, the signing. I think Ashley Dupree's, generally his time was coming to an end. I think it never really worked out because he's a player that needs space. You could see that he was very uncomfortable because the style of what Chiefs, a lot of teams, when teams play against Chiefs, they don't give Chiefs a lot of space to play with. Teams generally like to give Chiefs, they understand that one of the biggest weaknesses of Kaizer Chiefs is being able to play against low blocks. So when teams play against Chiefs, they generally like to play deep and make sure that they restrict the space. So when players like Ashley Dupree doesn't really have a particular skill set about him. One thing you know about him is that he plays with a lot of speed and space. That's why when Chiefs was playing against teams, they generally looked more comfortable without the ball than with it, So that's why I say that it's the style of him and the profile of him never really fitted a team like Kaizer Chiefs, because Chiefs was always going to be a team who had the ball a lot of times. And you need to have players that are comfortable on the ball, players that can beat their men, that are dribblers, and most importantly, players that take their chances. And I just felt like a lot of times actually missed a lot of opportunities. Given Simango, is he gonna be a miss? Yes, he's been at the club for 4 years, but you never really felt like he announced himself as the best player in the team. And I feel like he never really enamored himself to the team like, a player should. Like, let me give an example, like a Lebone Siema. You can see that player, he's kept his position in the team and is their best defender. You never felt like with a given, especially also unfortunately with injuries, you always felt like he had issues with a lot of that. But I think this is a good move even because he's going to play a lot at Stellenbosch. I think there's not going to be a lot of eyes on him. He's a very good defender. But I just think for the quality of what Chiefs needs, because the Chiefs need to have the best possible talent that they can get. And I think with them having Loisane, I think it's an upgrade on him. But I still think they need another left-footed signing on the left-hand side. If they can get another defender who's left-footed, I think that would be a very good signing. But generally, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts in terms of the news so far, also in terms of the game, the Kruger United game. And yeah, guys, to look forward to it and see what's gonna go. I generally think Kaizer Chiefs won the game, but it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna probably be most likely a 2-1 or 2-0 game or 1-0 game, because Kaizer Chiefs still haven't improved. Are still a team that's still growing in the offensive structures and offensive ability. So that's good. But above and above, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, guys, leave a comment. Let's engage and talk about the game you love the most. I'm a Kaizer for life, and I hope you have a good evening. Bye bye.